The year was 589 BC, a time of great turmoil and shifting powers in the ancient world. Zedekiah, the last king of Judah, entered the 9th year of his reign, a reign marked by tension and uncertainty. His kingdom was a vassal state, under the thumb of the mighty Babylonian Empire, struggling to maintain its identity and autonomy. Nebuchadnezzar II, the formidable Babylonian king, held Judah in his grasp, exerting his influence with an iron fist. Zedekiah, swayed by rebellious factions within his court, made a fateful decision that would alter the course of history. He chose to defy Nebuchadnezzar and seek independence, a bold move fraught with peril. This act of defiance was a spark in the dry tinder of conflict, igniting a war that would engulf the region. Nebuchadnezzar, enraged by Zedekiah's rebellion, acted swiftly and decisively, mobilizing his formidable military forces. He marched his armies towards Jerusalem, the heart of Judah, determined to crush the uprising. The Babylonian siege of Jerusalem had begun, a campaign that would test the resolve of both the besiegers and the besieged. The Babylonians were masters of siege warfare. Their reputation instilled fear in their enemies, and their tactics were relentless. They surrounded the city, cutting off all supplies and escape routes, leaving Jerusalem isolated and vulnerable. Jerusalem, perched on its hilltop, was a fortress, but even the strongest fortresses could be worn down. However, even the strongest fortresses could crumble under the relentless pressure of the Babylonian war machine, which showed no mercy. The siege was more than just a military campaign. It was a battle of wills, a test of endurance and resolve. Nebuchadnezzar was determined to make an example of Jerusalem, to crush the spirit of rebellion and solidify his dominance over the region. As the siege tightened its grip, the situation inside Jerusalem deteriorated rapidly. Food became scarce, water even more so. The once bustling city, now a prison, was gripped by hunger. The inhabitants of Jerusalem, trapped within their own city, faced a daily struggle for survival. Markets, once overflowing with goods, stood empty. The sounds of commerce were replaced by the cries of hungry children. The siege had a profound psychological impact on the people. Fear became a constant companion. The uncertainty of their fate, the constant threat of Babylonian attacks, gnawed at their resolve. The once proud citizens of Jerusalem were reduced to scavenging for scraps. They ate whatever they could find, even resorting to things they would have found unthinkable in times of peace. The desperation was palpable. For 18 long months, the siege dragged on. Hope dwindled with each passing day. In the dead of night, under the cover of darkness, King Zedekiah made a desperate decision. He decided to flee the besieged city. Taking his closest advisors and soldiers, he sought to escape the clutches of the Babylonians. They slipped out of the city through a secret gate, hoping to disappear into the Judean hills. Their escape, however, was short-lived. The Babylonians, ever vigilant, had anticipated such an attempt. They pursued the fleeing king and his men, finally catching up with them near the plains of Jericho. Zedekiah's attempt to escape his fate ended in failure. He was captured and brought before Nebuchadnezzar for judgment. Zedekiah, stripped of his kingship and dignity, was dragged before Nebuchadnezzar. The Babylonian king, his face a mask of cold fury, passed a sentence designed to inflict maximum pain and humiliation. Zedekiah was forced to watch in horror as his sons, his own flesh and blood, were executed before his eyes. The punishment did not end there. Nebuchadnezzar, seeking to make Zedekiah an example, ordered his eyes to be put out. Blinded and broken, the last king of Judah was led away in chains to Babylon. He would spend the rest of his days as a captive, a living testament to the folly of defying Nebuchadnezzar. Section 5. The Holy City in Flames, Destruction and Desolation. On the 9th day of the 4th month, the Babylonian army broke through Jerusalem's defenses, shattering the city's last hopes of survival. The city, weakened by famine and despair, could offer little resistance. Starvation had taken its toll, leaving the inhabitants too weak to fight back. The Babylonians, fueled by victory and years of resentment, were merciless. Their rage knew no bounds as they unleashed their fury upon the defenseless city. They surged through the city, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Buildings crumbled, and the streets ran red with the blood of the fallen. The Temple of Solomon, the holiest site in Judaism, was not spared. Its sacred walls echoed with the cries of the invaders. The Babylonians looted its treasures, stripping it of its sacred artifacts. Priceless relics were taken, never to be seen again. Then they set it ablaze. The flames roared, consuming everything in their path. The flames that consumed the temple seemed to devour the very soul of the Jewish nation. The night sky was illuminated by the inferno. The destruction of Jerusalem was complete. The city lay in ruins, a shadow of its former glory. The once great city, reduced to smouldering ruins, stood as a silent testament to the might of the Babylonian Empire and the dire consequences of rebellion. The echoes of its fall would resonate through history. Section 6. Exile and Loss. The scattering of Judah and the plunder of the temple. With Jerusalem in ruins, Nebuchadnezzar moved to solidify his control over the remnants of Judah. He ordered the deportation of the city's leading citizens. Artisans, craftsmen, priests, and intellectuals were rounded up and marched in chains to Babylon. This exile, a forced exodus from their homeland, was a devastating blow to the Jewish people. The Babylonians stripped the temple bare, taking everything of value. The sacred vessels, the Ark of the Covenant, and other religious relics were carried off to Babylon as trophies of war. This plundering of their most sacred site deepened the trauma of the Jewish people. It was a loss that resonated deep within their collective soul. Section 7. A puppet ruler's fate. Gedaliah's governorship and assassination. In the aftermath of the destruction, Nebuchadnezzar appointed Gedaliah, a Judean noble, to govern the remaining population. Gedaliah, based in the town of Mizpah, urged the people to cooperate with the Babylonians and rebuild their lives. For a brief time, there was a glimmer of hope. However, this fragile peace was shattered by political intrigue. Ishmael, a member of the Judean royal family, assassinated Gedaliah. This act of violence threw the region into chaos, extinguishing the last embers of hope for a peaceful transition. Fearful of Babylonian retribution, many Judeans fled to Egypt, taking with them the prophet Jeremiah. Section 8. A glimmer of hope. Jehoiakin's release and favor in Babylon. Amidst the tragedy and despair, a single ray of light pierced the darkness. Jehoiakin, the king who had preceded Zedekiah and who had been a captive in Babylon for 37 years, experienced a remarkable turn of events. Evil Merodach, Nebuchadnezzar's successor, released him from prison. Jehoiakin was treated with unexpected kindness and respect. He was given a prominent position at the Babylonian court, a sign of favor that offered a glimmer of hope to the exiled Judeans. Though he would never see his homeland again, Jehoiakin's story served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, compassion and hope can prevail. Section 9. Echoes of the Past, Timeless Lessons from the Fall of Jerusalem. The fall of Jerusalem, a pivotal event in Jewish history, continues to resonate thousands of years later. This event, marked by profound loss and upheaval, has left an indelible mark on the collective memory of the Jewish people. The destruction of the temple, a sacred place of worship and community gathering, the exile of the people who were forced to leave their homeland and live in foreign lands, and the loss of their homeland are etched in the Jewish consciousness. These events are not just historical footnotes, but are deeply woven into the fabric of Jewish identity. The story, however, is more than just a historical account. It is a narrative rich with lessons that transcend time and place. It holds within it timeless lessons about faith, resilience, and the consequences of choices. These lessons are as relevant today as they were millennia ago. The fall of Jerusalem reminds us that even the strongest walls cannot withstand the erosion of internal division and poor leadership. Zedekiah's ill-advised rebellion, driven by a lack of unity and misguided counsel fueled by false prophets and internal strife, created a perfect storm that led to the city's downfall. This rebellion led directly to the destruction of his kingdom, a stark reminder of the consequences of poor leadership. The narrative underscores the importance of unity, wise counsel, and the need for leaders to act with integrity and foresight. It also highlights the courage required to stand against those who would lead a nation astray, emphasizing the value of strong, principled leadership. The story also highlights the indomitable spirit of the Jewish people. Despite facing overwhelming odds, Even in the face of unimaginable loss and suffering, they clung to their faith and traditions, preserving their identity through the darkest times. They maintained their rituals and customs, ensuring that their cultural and religious heritage was not lost. The exile, though a period of great hardship, became a crucible that forged a stronger sense of identity and purpose among the Jewish people. It led to the development of the synagogue system, which became a cornerstone of Jewish communal life, and a renewed focus on scripture and religious scholarship, ensuring the survival and continuity of their traditions. The fall of Jerusalem serves as a cautionary tale for all nations and leaders. It is a powerful reminder of the fragility of power and the importance of humility. It reminds us that pride, arrogance, and the disregard for the well-being of the people can have devastating consequences. Leaders must always be mindful of their responsibilities. It reminds us that pride, arrogance, and the disregard for the well-being of the people can have devastating consequences. It also speaks to the power of hope and resilience, the ability of the human spirit to endure even the darkest of times and emerge stronger on the other side. This resilience is a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and emerge stronger on the other side. The story of Jerusalem's fall, though steeped in tragedy, is ultimately a testament to the enduring power of faith, hope, and the unbreakable bond of a people to their heritage. It is a story that continues to inspire and teach us valuable lessons about the human condition and the unbreakable bond of a people to their heritage.